Good morning to one and all. So today here we are going to mainly deal with the webinar topic of why security matters for marketeers. So in this topic regarding why security mainly matters for the marketeers, we are dealing with some of the most important aspects concerning why, apart from the growth and success factors which are concerned with the marketing perspective, why we need to give more importance and preference to the security features. So normally we are aware of the fact that in the field of marketing, the marketeers give much more importance to the growth and success of the organization by giving preference to the kind of preference to the marketing of the product, how the particular product can grow in the economy and mainly ultimately lead to the success of an organization. So how security becomes an important aspect in this. So we can deal into that kind of an aspect. So many organizations now have their own web portals and their own websites in which they will store a large quantity of their financial records, their inbuilt database information systems and everything related to that. So when it comes to marketeers, they have their own inbuilt database system as well, which is concerned with the product description, the strategic plans to implement the strategies related to how to market the product in the market, and also regarding the customer records. So they have a huge data about the customers' records, mainly due to the sale of the product. So during the sale time, they will have a huge data about, and which includes the details about the customer names, their email IDs, their address, and information regarding the location where such and such percentage of sales has happened. So these kind of informations will be stored in their own particular websites. So when it comes to storing lots of information regarding the data and all, what happens is that they couldn't actually maintain this kind of a data in a particular hard copy or something like that, because these include millions and millions of records which are available with them. So they would usually store these kind of information in their own websites, which is a means of storing their own, maintaining their own kind of a database system. So the main kind of security, like the threat that happens during this kind of a process is mainly when any hackers try to enter into their website and gain access to these kind of very sensitive information. So what happens is that these hackers will try to mainly get into their system, and they would try to either manipulate the kind of information or this system information that they have, or they would try to gain access to these sensitive information, which may prove to be beneficial for their personal reasons, or for in line for a kind of an espionage for any other companies who are working to find out the secret information from other companies. So even if any of the reasons, we can find that these hackers pose a serious threat to most of the companies in the present scenario. We can just take into account the example of one of the most famous companies like Sony. So way back in November 2014, it was reported that a huge chunk of customer records which was available with Sony was actually hacked by a certain group of people, and lots of records, including nearly up to 47,000 records of customer data, and even including the employers' records, was stolen from Sony's official website. So this gives a broad idea regarding how serious this issue has become. Moreover, another important research which was conducted by McAfee shows that almost 80% of the company websites don't give much importance to maintaining that kind of a security features when it comes to maintaining these kind of records and sensitive information with kind of safety precautions that needs to be taken care of. So 80% of the companies doesn't follow any kind of safety precautionary methods, or they don't have any updated software features to prevent such kind of things from happening, or to safeguard the kind of records that they have with them. So why is there? So we have come to know the reason why there is an importance or a need to protect this kind of sensitive database system from the kind of these hackers which is available in the market. So how they attack into this kind of websites is another thing which we need to delve into. So mainly there are two types of attacks. First one is man-on-the-middle attack. So in case of man-on-the-middle attack, what happens is that these hackers will have access into the system through some means which they kind of develop themselves, and once they enter, once they hack into the system, they would create a kind of a mini folder which is not visible to the people who is mainly to the software development team and all. These kind of folders will not be visible to them, and what will happen is that when the company stores a particular kind of information, may it be like the customer records, or may it be related to something which is a financial report, or kind of secret information or confidential kind of information which is just limited to the company, what happens is that they will store, once they feed it into the system, it will directly go into these folders, and these folders may be invisible to the software development team for maybe like weeks, months, or even years. So this is one kind of a attack that mainly happens, that is man-in-the-middle attack. Second one is distribution denial of service, DDoS. So in case of DDoS, what happens is that here the hackers will create a traffic in such a way that the website is left with no option but to shut down their website. So they will be in such a way they will be able to manipulate the kind of system information which is available with the company, and hackers will have access to this kind of information and they could do whatever they want to. So these are the attacks that that mainly happens in these kind of companies. So what can we do in order to prevent these kind of things from happening? So mainly like according to the recent trend which is being adopted in many of the companies to protect these kind of safety features, so what the marketeers do in order to secure these kind of sensitive data and financial records, or maybe about the customer records and all, what they do in order to protect these records is that one important feature is SSL, which is secure socket layers. So by means of the secure socket layers, what they do is that they would be able to detect any kind of malicious activity which is going on the website. What they try to do is that there would be a socket layer which would act as an encryption file. So what it does is that it encrypts the files and stores them in a particular folder, so that any third party members or any unknown members or any hackers won't gain access to these kind of folders. So it would be encrypted into this particular folder, and only the development team or those particular certain number of people, limited number of people, will have access to these kind of folders. So that is the first method which is mainly adopted, that is secure socket layers. Second one is WAF. WAF, in the sense it is called web application firewalls. So when it comes to web application firewalls, what happens is that an inbuilt firewall system will be acting as a layer, an outer layer within the website system. So if any malicious activities are reported, it will be blocked from the particular system, and the hackers won't be able to gain access into the system. So these are the two important techniques which are mainly being adopted. So what can so it is mainly much better to prevent this kind of malicious activity from happening in the websites. So what the companies could normally prefer to do is they could normally have an inbuilt development team who could work on certain software update features to prevent this kind of things from happening from the first place. Like they could initially block out these kind of servers from entering into the systems initially without waiting for them to block the firewall, to come up with a firewall block and all. So this is one kind of a security feature, and moreover they could encrypt this kind of sensitive information and records into the particular folders, so that these won't be accessible to any other members within the organization. So companies need to make sure that these kind of information have been stored in a particular folder which is encrypted, with only a selected members having access to this kind of information. So when it comes to the marketing field, what the marketers do nowadays is they would gain more amount of customer records, and once they gain this large amount of customer records, which day by day grosses to a higher margin, what they need to do is that the more number of customer records they store into the particular system or the website, it is the responsibility of the marketers to make sure that it is secure from any other hands. So this denotes the reason why considering a socially ethical perspective as well, it is the ethical responsibility of the person, I mean the company or the marketers, to make sure that these kind of information or the records are being secure within the company itself. So we can conclude the topic by saying that not only the growth and success factors are important for the marketeers, but also security plays an important role in the line of work duty for the marketeers as well. Thank you.